All right, hi everybody. Welcome to this week six module video. And this week six and this video is going to be about our first exam week. Okay, so if you're watching this video, you're in the right place. You're in the week six module video. All right, this is where the video is going to be. But let's get started about what's going on this week and what you can expect. So, this is our exam week. All right, so our overview and learning objectives for this section of material for this week is just going to be about the exam. So we're going to successfully and efficiently study for this math exam in an online course, and then we're just going to successfully take an exam in this online course. Okay, so uh, take care of those logistical issues. Make sure you sit down and take the exam. All right. That's the main outcomes for this week. So there's going to be an assignment. It's going to be a practice exam. Okay. This will be due this Sunday. All right. There's going to be an exam. All right. It's going to be online here on Canvas. It's going to be similar to our quizzes, our MyOpa Math quizzes, where you take the quiz and then you write your complete solutions and submit them. So that kind of leads me to this point. Submit exam one work into Canvas no more than 15 minutes after finishing the exam. Okay, so I have an exam one video that explains all this for the exam. Okay, and then we have a discussion, and that's going to be exam one self-reflection, where you're going to post a problem from exam one from your solutions and explain what you struggled on or any other anything other you can identify from the problem, and then respond to two others posts about struggling or identification. Okay, so that's pretty much a layout for this week. So let's go over some of the components from this week. So no content, all just about exam, and we have our really only sort of assignment, which is the practice exam. All right, so the practice exam one, I'm gonna make that due this Sunday. Okay, so it's kind of a quick turnaround, but its main goal is to help you prepare for the exam. All right, so on this practice exam, I got the Word doc down here, but there's 30 problems in there from our textbook. All right, that's where I'm pulling them from, and these are all problems from the specific sections we've covered. Okay. And so for the practice exam to get the full credit, you got to do 20 problems. Okay. And that's going to be due by Sunday. So there's no late window for this. It's just due Sunday. Let's get it done. Let's move on. Because it's helping you prepare for the exam. So my goal is to have you do this before you take the exam. Just do 20 problems before you take the exam so that you're ready to go. All right. Um, it's due Sunday, but try to get it done before that. Okay. And no late window. And I'm mainly grading for effort and completeness. Like I'm not going to sit there and I give you the solutions, but I'm not going to sit there and grade it on correctness too much just because it's a practice exam, it's meant for review. And yeah, the goal is for you to practice and submit these before you take the exam. All right. It's not required, but like that's the hope, right? You don't want to take the exam Friday and then like submit these on Sunday. Like that wouldn't um, be too helpful, but hey, it's up to you. You got to figure out what works for you. So here's a practice exam. Okay. Here's a document. And yeah, it's just same directions here, 30 problems. I got to do 20 problems from the textbook. So, and then for each section, I just have a list of problems that you could possibly choose from. All right. And then no 3.2. I'm not doing anything from 3.2 on the exam. So it just goes up to 3.1. And then no 1.3 because that just kind of falls into 3.1, the DE as mathematical models. So that's a practice exam, do 20 problems, and then just go ahead and submit it here. Okay, so it's due March 8th. No late window for that one. So let's see. Let's move forward into the week. So here I will have an exam one video where I will need you guys to watch that where I'm going over the exam, and then I break down it all for this exam one. So please watch that video and please look at the exam. But just to give you a prelude to what the exam is, if you haven't gotten there yet, uh, let's reset this. It's an exam. It's on my open math. It, it's 100 points. The last, it closes on Sunday, March 8th at midnight, and it's a time limit of 2 hours and 30 minutes. Okay, so I went over this in the other video, the exam one video, but let's go ahead and start it. When you start it, it says, are you sure you want to start? Okay. So you start it and then make sure to read this. Okay. I explained this in the exam one video as well, but similar guidelines to the quiz in that, you have to submit your work within 15 minutes. Uh, you'll get a 0 on your exam if you do not. Okay. Got to show work for every problem besides maybe like a slope field question. And if you don't, that problem gets a 0. Uh, if you're just straight up copying from AI, you'll get a 0. And if I ask you to Zoom with me to discuss solutions about the exam in case your exam looks really strange and funky and straight up copied or something like that, you don't meet with me or don't get back to me, you're going to get a 0 on the exam. Okay, so when you start this exam, you are agreeing to all of these parameters. Okay. So, like I said, I go over this in detail in the exam one video, but you can use class notes and resources. I just want to make sure you guys are learning the concepts. Um, this opens Thursday morning at 8 a.m. and closes Sunday at midnight. So you have a couple days of work on it, but once you start it, it's timed and you got to finish it. All right. So like I say in the video that figure out any logistical issues you can before because we're not going to deal with any logistical issues for this exam, right? This is a little more serious where you got to make sure you're submitting that PDF. I don't want to see you can't email me a PDF like of your work submission like a couple hours later. It's going to get a 0 for the exam. No ifs, ands, or buts. Uh, don't tell me you're having technical difficulties when you take the exam, like it shuts down. Heard that before. Uh, you got to figure that out before the exam. All right. It's got to happen. All right. So agreeing to all this, that's the exam. And when you start it, you got to take it. All right. And you got to submit that work and it's got to be cool, full, complete work, just like you're taking a regular exam. All right. You got to show all your work. Okay. So that's the exam. You'll submit, the work into, this submission right here, exam one work submission, just submit it in there. And then let's move on to our discussion for the week. And that's going to be exam one self-reflection. So there's no homework assignments this week. It's just based on the exam. So what I want you to do is like, once you take the exam, pick a problem that you struggled with and then post it. All right. Tell what you struggled with. Maybe you got it right, maybe you got it wrong. Explain what happened, and then respond to two people that were also struggling with something. Okay. So we keep moving. Discussion board. This is here every week, but not everyone uses it all the time. And that's pretty much it for this week. All right. The conclusion is up here next. So yeah, we submitted the practice exam, we studied for the exam, we completed the exam, and we submitted our work with complete solutions to the exam. And we did the self-reflection discussion. And then this just concludes our first learning unit for chapters 1 through 3. And then this concludes mainly our work with first order linear differential equations. Then we're going to move on to some higher order differential equations. All right, so that's the plan. We're going to look at like second order and above. So this concludes our first order of work. But yeah, this is our exam week. Okay, so make sure you get the practice exam done. Make sure you're ready to take the exam. Don't have any troubles with it. And then submit your work within 15 minutes with complete solutions. Okay, and then do the discussion. But that's it for this video. If you have any questions, please let me know and please figure out any technical difficulties you might have. All right, any difficulties during the exam will not fly. Okay. So, thank you for watching this video. Good luck on the exam. Good luck with this week. And let me know if you have any questions before you start the exam. All right. Take care.